We've got you covered. This is News 4 Tucson.
Getting you set for the Arizona Wildcats and the Oregon Ducks. I am David Kelly, joined as always by Glenn Howell, U of A football class of 1985. The Wildcats, 4 straight losses. Glenn, coming off a bye week, so you've had 2 weeks to get ready for this Oregon team. The Wildcats coming in a 25-point underdog. At least they're not a 50-point underdog like Rutgers is today against Ohio State. But I believe that you play these games and there's always a chance to win, but it's a very slim chance for Arizona to win today.
Yeah, and we've been in this situation before. We played against you guys, the USC Trojans, in 1982, and we were probably, I think, a 20-point underdog. I think it was, there's always hope, I think, for U of A. And U of A is always known for doing one big upset a year, and this could be the biggest one of all. And I think that, the guys we have to find some leadership there. And Dave, we talked about leadership, and I was looking on the roster. I said, all the starters and all the 3 or 4 deep, we got Chase and Khalil. Those are only seniors. We're looking for leadership. So we have to have juniors and sophomores step up. We have to have some leadership there. I know JJ's a junior, a redshirt junior, but we got to find some leadership there on our team, because otherwise you're going to be a part of a team that's lost maybe 7 in a row.
Yeah. This is a team that could possibly lose out, but we don't want to get to that point just yet. You're talking about leaders. I believe J.J. Taylor is one of those leaders, Glenn, but you need, and as good as he has been, and I'm not going to put it all on him, he has been fabulous this season, but what's been missing is that one dynamic rushing game. He has not had that 150-yard plus rushing game, and you'll remember at the end of last year, he put together those 4 out of those last 5 games. It started with the game at UCLA. It continued the game against Oregon, which was his best last year, 212 rushing yards. And what I liked when I went back and I looked at last year's game from the offensive standpoint, or really from both sides, was the aggressiveness. On the offensive side of the ball, they attacked the Ducks on the edges, and I think that's what they've got to do in this ball game. Last year they did it with Shun Brown on the outside. They took shots downfield to open up the running game, and that allowed JJ to have that big night.
And part of that is our blocking from our receivers. Our receivers got to be able to maintain blocks on the outside, and also we got to have our tackles being able to reach those 5 and 6 techniques that are out there on Oregon. And then also on the defensive side of the ball, we have to be able to move Herbert off this point. And when he is known, and I don't think he's really corrected it that much from last year, is that if you get him off his point, he will throw errant throws. He'll throw picks.
Yeah, and last year, though, a lot of those guys that were able to do that aren't here. I mean, PJ had such a great game. Demetrius from the backside had such a great game. Devon Cooper blocked the punt, I remember, early in that ball game. Scottie had an interception, but again, that's a guy you point to, Scottie Young. We talked a little bit about him in Breakdown last week. I asked Kevin Sumlin about it this week. What's behind his struggles? He said, we've got to put Scottie in a position to make plays. No, to me, that's coach protection speech. Yeah. Scottie Young has got to put himself in position to make plays. That's what he has done in the past. He has been that ball hawk back there playing center field. He's got to get back to being that ball hawk. That starts with him. It doesn't start with the defense putting him in a position. He's got to be the one to put himself in that position. I disagree
with you a little bit, Dave. I think we need to have a little bit more pressure from the front 3 and a front 4, wherever we're having it, and also blitzing guys. Get those guys in that quarterback to get off their point. The last couple of games, our opposing quarterbacks has been sitting there having a cup of coffee. They've been having a cup of coffee and a Danish, okay? So we have to put pressure on them so they can throw some errant throws.
Well, this is an opportunity then for, like we looked back last year and saw the defensive tackles making plays. Trevin Mason has continued to take those steps. A breakout game is in order. Miles Taposu, a breakout game maybe in order. Jalen Harris, where have you been? Yeah. We need to begin to see a little bit more from him. These are the guys. J.B. Brown, we thought these guys were going to be the beginnings of a very good defensive line, but they just have not made those dominant plays. We need to begin to see dominant plays from the defensive line.
Yeah, we need to see a better showing of those guys up front, because that makes everybody do well. We got to keep our defense off the field. We got to have a better job on a patchwork offensive line. There's guys. Morgan may be able to play for our young freshman from Marana. He may be playing this week, and he's going to get his shot against one of the best teams in the country. So it's opportunities here. There's a lot of opportunities for the second and third guys to start playing and making plays.
All right, well then who starts at quarterback? Is it going to be Grant Gunnell or is it going to be Khalil Tate?
If I was getting the $3.5 million, I'm starting Grant Gunnell.
I believe you. I think that's what's going to happen. I think Grant Gunnell is going to get the start.
And if he does, I get that 3.5.
There you go. 2 weeks ago, I would not have wanted Grant Gunnell making his first road start at Stanford, let alone having to make that first road start at Oregon. But eventually, you got to make it somewhere.
Yeah, and this is where you grow. This is where you have, and I think Grant's the type of kid that really wants this challenge. He does want this challenge, and I think they're going to throw the kitchen table at him. They're going to they're going to rush 12. They're going to rush 12 on the guy. They're going to bring a guy from the bench. They're going to be everything. It's going to be on him, and I think he's going to be able to handle it.
Well, and one of the things, like I said, and we kind of went over it a little bit, is I like his poise. I like the way he sees things.
That's the demeanor.
He sees things ahead of time. I think he's going to know. Even when he takes a sack, you feel like it's not a bad sack.
Yeah, and that's why I like the demeanor of it. He's like, live another day, live another down. That's what we have to have. Be able to say, okay, it's done, it's gone, let's go to the next play. And then he comes back and throws a great pass. That's what we want to have.
All right, it's the Arizona Wildcats and the Oregon Ducks, and win or lose, we're back Monday morning to break it down for you.